The wisdom of a truly great life often lies in what you don't do. A wise man doesn't waste his time chasing fleeting desires or dwelling on things beyond his control. He doesn't squander his peace by trying to please everyone, nor does he let trivialities dictate his actions. Instead, he masters the art of restraint, focusing on what matters most, living with intention, clarity, and virtue. But what does this look like in practice? In a world that constantly pulls us in 1,000 directions, how does one avoid the traps that lead to regret and unhappiness? Stoicism, with its timeless teachings, offers profound insights. It's not just about the habits you build, it's about the behaviors you abandon. Hi, I'm Jason, and you can trust me on this. I have learnt it the long way, the hard way. This video explores 4 things a wise man never does. These principles are not just for philosophers or sages, but for anyone seeking to live a more meaningful and fulfilled life. Whether it's avoiding the endless pursuit of more or learning to let go of things outside your control, these lessons remind us that wisdom isn't just about adding, it's often about subtracting. To gain maximum mindfulness from the teachings, make sure you watch the video till the end. And when you've done that, I encourage you to go to the comments section and tell me how you feel about the teachings. I read every comment, and I do that because your thoughts are important to me. And if the virtue in you appreciates this calling, help us reach others like you. You can do that by liking, subscribing, and sharing this video, especially by sharing this video. Are you ready to uncover what a wise man doesn't do? Let's dive in. 1. Fear of death. The man who truly values his time knows a profound truth. Death is not a distant event waiting in some vague future. Instead, it is with us now, unfolding quietly, moment by moment. Each passing second is a fragment of life that slips away, claimed by death. This realization, far from being morbid, awakens a deeper appreciation for life. It sharpens our focus, bringing clarity to how precious each moment truly is. I remember vividly when this understanding came to me. It was after a personal loss, the sudden death of someone close to me. I found myself consumed by the why and how, dwelling endlessly on what could have been done differently. For weeks I was paralyzed by the thought that death was this monumental, catastrophic event, an abrupt end to all things. But one day, as I was flipping through Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, a line stopped me cold. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. It wasn't a warning, it was a gift. Death wasn't something lurking in the distance. It was woven into every passing moment. The days and years already behind me were, in a sense, parts of my life that death had already claimed. What remained wasn't infinite. This realization didn't fill me with dread, but with resolve. I began to see how much time I had wasted on trivial pursuits, arguments, and fears about things beyond my control. I thought of all the moments spent hesitating, fearing judgment, overthinking decisions, or chasing validation, and realized they were as good as lost. What remained wasn't for mourning the past, but for fully embracing the present. The Stoics taught this truth as a cornerstone of wisdom. Seneca, in his letters to Lucilius, speaks of life as something that is constantly slipping through our fingers. He reminds us that we die not all at once, but gradually, with every hour spent unwisely. Death is inseparable from life. To fear it is to miss the essence of living. Memento mori, remembering that you will die, is not a morbid mantra, but a powerful tool to realign your priorities. Living with the awareness of death transforms how you see the world. Suddenly, distractions lose their allure. The endless pursuit of status or material wealth feels hollow. What matters is clear: connection, purpose, love, growth. By accepting death's presence, you learn to let go of petty grudges, embrace gratitude, and pursue meaning in your actions. Now, when I feel frustration creeping in or catch myself procrastinating, I return to this truth. Life is fleeting. Death isn't an interruption to prepare for, it's a companion to live with. This understanding doesn't make me fearful, it makes me bold. Each moment is an invitation to live fully and authentically, unburdened by fear or regret. To live with this awareness is to embrace both life and death as inseparable parts of a greater whole. It is the key to freedom, the path to a life of depth and intention. Death is now, as is life. 2. Wasting time. A wise man understands that time is his most precious resource, one that cannot be earned back once lost. Wasting it, whether through carelessness, distractions, or pursuits that lead nowhere, is not just a mistake, it's a betrayal of his potential. Seneca reminds us to set yourself free, a freedom found in reclaiming our time and using it with purpose. This idea is not just philosophical, it is a practical call to action that can transform how we live. I remember a time in my life when this truth hit me with full force. A few years ago, I took on a project that seemed promising on the surface, but turned into an endless loop of revisions and second-guessing, driven more by the demands of others than by my own values. Days turned into weeks, then months. Despite all the busyness, I felt stagnant, disconnected from any sense of accomplishment. One evening, as I sat staring at my unfinished work, Seneca's words came to mind. The most disgraceful kind of loss is the loss due to carelessness. I realized I was not just losing time to external demands. I was letting it slip through my fingers by failing to question whether what I was doing truly mattered. I wasn't intentional with my moments. I was simply going through the motions. This realization was my wake-up call to reclaim my time and, by extension, my life. Wasting time happens in many forms. Sometimes it's obvious, like procrastinating on the couch with mindless scrolling. Other times, it's subtler, cloaked in activities that feel productive but are misaligned with our true goals. This is the most insidious type of waste, busyness without purpose. The Stoics teach us to distinguish between movement and progress, urging us to ask, is this truly bringing me closer to the life I want? Time also vanishes in the fog of idleness, not the restorative stillness of reflection or meditation, but the empty waiting for the right moment to act. This illusion keeps us paralyzed, while precious hours slip by unnoticed. The solution lies in vigilance and intentionality. First, identify what truly matters to you, your values, goals, and aspirations. These become your compass, guiding how you spend your time. Then, practice saying no to distractions and commitments that pull you away from your purpose. Protect your time fiercely, as a wise man guards a treasure. This isn't about working every moment. It's about ensuring your time serves a higher purpose, whether through work, rest, or connection. By reclaiming your moments, you become the master of your days. As Seneca wisely observed, life is long if you know how to use it. Make the choice to use yours well. 3. Think it is hard to live in the present moment. Living in the past or the future is a habit that a wise man deliberately avoids. Time, fleeting and irretrievable, is the most precious resource we possess. To squander it by dwelling on what has already passed or anxiously awaiting what might come is to miss the only moment that truly belongs to us, the present. I once learned this lesson during a period of my life marked by deep regret and overwhelming uncertainty. For months, I found myself replaying an argument with a close friend, dissecting every word I had said and every opportunity I had missed to repair the relationship. At the same time, I was consumed with worry about an impending career shift. What if I failed? What if the decision I made led me down the wrong path? My mind was like a pendulum, swinging endlessly between the past and the future, leaving no room for the present. One evening, exhausted by this mental tug-of-war, I stumbled across Marcus Aurelius's words. Do not let your mind be enslaved by the past or the future. Focus only on what you are doing now, and let it be done with purpose. These words struck me like a thunderclap. I realized that I had been living everywhere except in the moment, losing precious days to things I could not change or control. That evening, I decided to act. Instead of continuing to brood over my past mistake, I reached out to my friend. Though the outcome was uncertain, I realized that regret alone would never mend what had been broken. Taking responsibility in the present was the only way forward. Similarly, I stopped fixating on the endless what-ifs of my career decision and focused on preparing myself for the next step, knowing that only the actions I took now could shape my future. Living in the present does not mean dismissing the value of reflection or planning. The past is a teacher, offering lessons to guide us, and the future is a canvas where we can paint our intentions. But the present is the brush. It is the only tool we have to create a meaningful life. By grounding ourselves in the now, we free ourselves from the chains of regret and the anxieties of uncertainty. A wise man treasures each moment, knowing it is a finite gift. He does not squander today worrying about yesterday's losses or tomorrow's possibilities. Instead, he pours his energy into what he can do here and now, living fully and authentically. For it is only in the present that life truly happens, and only by embracing it can we honor the time we've been given. 4. Always want more. Always wanting more is a path that leads to perpetual dissatisfaction, a lesson a wise man understands deeply. True wealth lies not in the endless accumulation of possessions or achievements, but in the ability to find contentment with what one already has. Those who constantly seek more, never pausing to appreciate what they hold, are forever chasing a mirage, a horizon that moves further away with every step. For much of my youth, I believed happiness was just one step away: a better job, a bigger apartment, a fancier car. My efforts were tireless, and I measured my success by comparing my possessions to others. Yet, each new acquisition brought only fleeting satisfaction, quickly replaced by the gnawing desire for the next thing. It was exhausting, like pouring water into a bottomless vessel. One moment brought clarity. I visited a childhood friend who lived in a modest home, working a simple job that brought him no fame or fortune. Despite his apparent lack of success by societal standards, he radiated a calm and genuine joy. His laughter filled the room, and his eyes sparkled with gratitude for the small comforts of his life. A warm meal, time with family, the satisfaction of meaningful work. Watching him, I felt a pang of envy, not for his possessions, but for his peace of mind. Later that evening, he shared a profound observation. When you learn to cherish what you already have, you realize you've had enough all along. His words echoed a truth the Stoics have long understood. Seneca once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more who is poor." In that moment, I saw the wisdom in letting go of the insatiable desire for more and focusing instead on preserving and valuing what I already possessed. The illusion of more keeps many trapped in a cycle of dissatisfaction. The house grows bigger, but so does the emptiness inside. The bank account swells, but peace remains elusive. Like a man drinking salt water, the thirst for more only intensifies. In contrast, contentment, found not in abundance but in the wise use of one's time, resources and energy, offers true wealth. This doesn't mean rejecting ambition or striving for improvement, but rather aligning your pursuits with what truly matters. It means using your resources, your time, talents and treasures intentionally to enrich your life and the lives of others. It means savoring the present, not postponing happiness for an imagined future. To live wisely is to reject the endless pursuit of more and embrace the richness of enough. It is to see your life not as a vessel to be endlessly filled, but as one to be cherished, preserved, and savored in its fullness. True contentment lies not in what you acquire, but in how you choose to live. Stoic advice is as relevant today as it was over 2,000 years ago. The Stoics teach us that time is our most valuable resource, more precious than any material possession, yet so often we let it slip away, lost to distractions, trivial pursuits, or simply through a lack of awareness. Now that you've reached this far, you must make a solemn promise to yourself to protect your time, to live with intention, and ultimately, to lead a better, more fulfilled life. I hope the video helped and will keep helping you to recognize the subtle ways time is stolen from you, often without you even realizing it. I hope you'll uncover the traps of mindless habits and societal pressures that drain your time and energy. Most importantly, I hope you will apply today's teachings to live in the present, make the most of each moment, and align your actions with your true purpose. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need to hear this. Let's strive to live better, more respectful lives. Until next time, stay strong and stay stoic.